Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
YouTube has dominated our lives since its creation.
Hey, it's Fred!
Hey, Apple!
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
Hello.
Jolly.
Up to a lemonade stand and he said to the man,
I can't believe you've done this.
And for some people, these personalities have become part of our daily life, supplying us with free entertainment.
In this video, I'm going to try and answer the question, is Lego getting worse?
I'm gonna spend the next 50 hours buried alive in this coffin.
But what are they really like, and how have they dealt with their newfound fame?
Cave is, I'm not going to say finished.
The answers to those questions started with Dr. Jake's Very British Reviews, who is a variety channel who has been posting for over 7 years.
Part of me has always been into sort of drama and wanted to become a famous celebrity. So I thought, well, you know, I might be able to make a little bit of money and become a famous celebrity. That video made £550 and 80 pence. There's sort of several types of comment you get. The negative comments that are so bad, they're actually funny. I would say the kind who wears old school white underpants and folds them with care like Mr. Bean. And so then I can make a video out of them. You know, if they're really ridiculous, then if I'm just reading them in a dry way is amusing to people, and it's bonus that it's content for the channel. Daniela Martin said something that made me really laugh. She wrote, "You are a butthole," but I noticed that she'd spelt butthole incorrectly, so I corrected her. The really hard comments to deal with are the sort of the personal comments about your physical appearance. You know, you have to kind of, I am pretty thick-skinned, but you do get some people that, you know, they're so critical that you wonder, well, you know, maybe they're right. Maybe, you know, I really do look like Elton John, you know. I'd love for my channel to become big enough for me to become kind of solely dependent on it and for it to be my only job. At the moment, it doesn't feel like that's a reality, because if anything, the channel is shrinking. You can see all the stats, take out what you want from it, whatever's interesting to you. But I think what it'll show is that things ain't looking so good for me. The most I would probably do is go part-time in my real job. But the way things are going, that ain't happening anytime soon.
Hi, I'm the producer of ASMR Show.
I spoke to another middle-aged man about his channel. His channel covers ASMR. ASMR is the term used for the sensation people get when they watch stimulating videos.
I've always considered myself as like a sort of how-to basics of ASMR. Back at that time, I was like wearing gloves because I've got like really hairy hands. I used to kind of like hide my hands thinking, oh, it's a distraction, but what I've come to realise is it's like a differentiator, you know.
But obviously I'm here to help you with ASMR, so I'll get to the point. So
I think ASMR is still regarded as a bit weird, and every now and then I still get comments on videos like, you know, why are you whispering, on some of the videos where I have actually done some talking. But because they're just not going to understand it. They're not going to understand why a grown man is like unboxing toys on YouTube, you know. I would say, you know, if it's not for you, it's not for you, you know, but if you find it and you find it interesting, I don't think there's any shame in it.
Mr. Gollick! Mr. Gollick!
Oh, hello. How are you? Yes, I'm very good, thank you.
How is Mrs. Gollick?
She's pregnant.
I think sort of my sort of subgenre of ASMR, which tends to be nowadays, it's kind of like lo-fi and no talking, unboxings, that kind of thing. It's a different subgenre, you know. So I don't think it really does directly compete with the kind of e-girl type ASMR Again, I did attempt to sort of cross over. If you look on the playlist as a collaboration, I did quite a few videos with like a kind of an e-girl type. Yeah, but they were just like a giggle, you know. It was like, again, no one was taking anything too seriously, but it's kind of like this absurdist take on, my take on kind of e-girl, ASMR, if you like, you know.
Characterless women were shown smoking on the surface.
And the question was, can I make money from this? The answer to that is yes. Obviously, ideally, I would want to make a full-time income from it. The answer to that is looking like not anytime soon. Because although it is fun, it is costing me time, you know, and it would be nice to get a bit of a return. And, you know, looking further forward, you know, could this sort of online passive revenue generation become some sort of small pension in the future? You know, it's that kind of thing. That's my thinking.
The final stop of this journey was in Stroud, to meet with Neil, who has managed to make his channel a full-time job.
I'm Neil, I'm from the YouTube channel RMC Retro, and welcome to The Cave. I started YouTubing as an accident, really. It was a hobby that got out of hand, I guess. I started making videos in my bedroom. It was all about old computers, and I was really reaching out to see if there were other people like me, because I knew I had this interest in old computers and retro and fixing them up. That's probably why I put the first video together in my back spare bedroom in my flat using what I had, a web camera, a very poor microphone. That video is still up today and it's terrible quality, but I like to leave it up as a kind of a way to look back and see how far we've come.
PS2 and PS3. It's one of the cheaper sticks on the market, but is it worth your money?
The effect YouTube has had on my life is that it allowed me primarily to move on from a career that I was feeling pretty burnt out of. And suddenly there was no ceiling. I could do absolutely anything I wanted to do that my audience might be interested in, and that's led to the videos. It's led to, I've produced a vinyl record, I've written a book, I've published a colouring book, I've built the cave, I've opened a museum. Just, if you can think of it, you can do it. There are just no limitations to what you can do as a YouTuber. I don't want it to become a stuffy nerds club. I want it to be a cool, clean, fresh nerds club that everyone can enjoy. Anyone who's thinking of going into YouTube and wants to make it a full-time job and thinks it's easy is deluded. You're going to be working more hours than any other job that you've done in your life or would do. And yes, you'll be rewarded for it, but my God, it is hard work sometimes. You know, you'll be working late nights, you'll be working long hours. That's the only way I've got to this point, is by putting the effort in. That and the audience, who I call the cave dwellers. The quality of the audience, the loyalty and the dedication of them as well has helped to make it happen. Rise of the Robots. We've got a lot of Rise of the Robots on the table today. It's all thanks to Ross, who's joined us for a show and tell. Is it show and tell today, Ross, or is it a psychiatric assessment?
Yeah, I think it's probably, yeah, we'll get the...
There's not a hope in hell that YouTube are paying me enough a month based on views to have a living, not even half a full-time wage. But the quality of the audience makes them want to be a part of the cave so much that they become patrons, and I've got a great conversion rate, and that's why everything exists. Yeah, it's not so much about the subscriber numbers, it's more about the quality of the subscriber that really drives the channel. Patreon is the reason that this place and this channel exists, and the reason that I can do it full-time.
After learning so much about their experiences, what legacy do these creators hope they leave?
I don't think I want to be remembered on YouTube. I want the machines, I want the history of the machines, I want the content I make to be remembered, but I really don't care if I'm personally remembered. It's not about me, and I think that's important. It's about the computers and the content, the subject matter and the history, and helping to preserve in some way that history, because a lot of the computers that we have here, they're really fine examples, and they're getting fewer and fewer and harder to see. So to preserve that in film for future generations, that's all I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never really thought about that. I mean, I'd like to think that just, you know, that I've made people laugh, you know, or just chuckle, whatever, you know. That would be enough, you know. And I mean, I don't know if you've looked at the channel, but I've made, it must be coming out for like 2,000 videos now. So like, there's no way anyone's going to watch all of those, right? Maybe that's what it'll be remembered for like the channel with the most shit on it or something, you know. It's like...